the NFL players will be men of increase coming in 2028 in Los Angeles. And this isn't surprising that this went through. I am surprised that it was 32-0. In order for stuff to pass, right, at the NFL meetings where they vote on several things, although I've yet to see the tush-push thing. I think they're still navigating that. Supposedly they were supposed to vote on that today, too.
Yeah, they're voting on that today or tomorrow. I guess maybe it depends how long each issue took them to resolve.
Yeah, but one of the things that they were voting on was whether or not to allow NFL players into the 2028 Summer Games, which are going to be in Los Angeles. And for the first time, flag football is going to be an Olympic sport, which is, I'm not sure which is dumber, breakdancing or flag football, but I mean, here we go. Flag football, an Olympic sport. And all the NFL players are like beyond jazzed up about it. And the NFL took a vote on it today, and 32 owners had a chance to vote, and all 32 unanimously said, yep, the NFL will be participating. One player from each team can be on a national team. So you can only have one Cincinnati Bengal, one Dallas Cowboys. You couldn't have like Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. You couldn't have Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce. So I don't know how all that's going to work, who gets to be the one guy. And there's some other stuff like the NFL approved. They're going to have a pool of money set aside for insurance in case someone gets hurt. So there's some stuff there, some details that have to be worked out. But basically, this paves the way for you will see NFL players in the Summer Games.
There's a lot more going on here than just kind of the silliness of NFL athletes playing flag football. The NFL is heavily invested in girls flag football right now at the high school level. Yeah. They're trying to build leagues. They're putting money into it. They've had commercials with some athletes, including the National Player of the Year who plays down in California. They've really invested in this. So they have money backed into now flag football. The other piece here is my entire career covering recruiting, a lot of my biggest events with the best athletes, they were playing 7-on-7. They weren't flags.
Sure.
But this is a whole generation of players now who grew up playing very competitive flag football spring and summer, or 7-on-7.
Whenever I walk my dog up at the high school now, because it used to be you would always see, baseball, softball, a lot of basketball tournaments going on. Dude, I see a S-ton now of
it's everywhere.
I don't think it's flag. I do think it's just 7-on-7.
It is.
But it's essentially the same thing, and it's been built up into like the full-on AAU. Dudes are wearing customized jerseys. They got the little padded helmets on, but and like they are decked out, and like teams come rolling in like in team buses. It's become a big time deal.
Oh, and I used to cover it when it was huge. Every event I've ever been to, I've seen a fight, by the way, a fist fight breakout.
Yeah.
There used to be a huge one in Vegas right before COVID, and it was the Pylon 7-on-7 in Vegas. And all the best players, like literally, there's very few things in recruiting where you'll get 90% of the top kids, because kids have different quarterback coaches, and they're not going to do that stuff. You could get legitimately 92, 93 of the top 100 kids that were skill position guys.
Yeah.
The linemen don't do it.
Yeah, linemen won't be involved.
So of the top skill position guys would all be at 7-on. Snoop Dogg had a team for years. Snoop Dogg's team got in a massive brawl in which guns were drawn and pit bulls were released and pit bulls fought on the field.
That's good.
Snoop Dogg's team is banned from the Vegas Pylon 7-on because there was this massive brawl. I've seen the video. It has been told to me that this will never get out and no one will ever see this publicly. But lots of recruiting folks have seen this video of this giant fight in which, again, shots were actually fired. It was legitimately scary. But it's scaled back a little bit from that, but it's still a huge thing where athletes
become like AAU basketball.
Athletes are
football,
sponsoring
right?
teams and that kind of thing. So it's not that surprising. I just think we're going to think it's a cute idea until the United States plays the Philippines and it's like 97-0. And they're like, you know what, Robbie Gould, get in there and play quarterback. Harrison Butker, we know how you feel about women, but we're gonna let you play some linebacker, whatever.
Get on in there. Well, there was the great clip going around, and because they talked about this almost a year ago, and because there is a U.S. Federation for flag football, like there's an Olympic committee for each sport, right?
Yes.
That actually selects the team. Even, USA basketball is, that there's a governing body for each Olympic sport. So there is a flag football governing body. And we have a flag football team. And the quarterback of the
Oh,
United
yeah.
States team.
That
Remember,
cute little fella.
there was a cute little guy, and he was outraged because he was like, you think Patrick Mahomes is better than me? He got all pissed off because for these guys, right?
It's slightly different rules.
Right, they've been playing flag football for a long time, and imagine if you've been playing flag football for like 10 years, and you're the best flag football quarterback in the NFL, or not in the NFL, but in the United States, right?
Yes.
You're the national team captain.
Yeah.
Right? You're that guy. And finally, in 3 short years, the Olympics are on your soil. You have a chance to be an Olympic gold medalist.
And represent your country.
Represent your country.
Yeah.
And then someone's like, yeah, by the way, Patrick Mahomes can go play.
Well, it's one of those
Can
things.
you imagine how absolutely what a gut punch that was? And so he had the nerve to come out and be like, what? They just come in here? It's like, this is an entirely different set of rules. He was trying to make the case that no one's going to replace him as the quarterback.
Well, it's one of those things where he's played and hung on to this for like 10 years.
Yeah.
He's like, it'll catch on, you guys, I swear. And they're like, Steven, you have a family. And all you ever do is make $1,000 a year selling tickets to your little flag football park games. And he's like, I told you, we're in the Olympics. Yeah. And this vote is absolutely crushing to that guy. Just crushing.
So the things that still have to be worked out between the NFLPA and the I guess the Olympic Committee that's going to decide this. One, there will be tryouts, which I think is adorable. I want more so than I want to see the games. I would like to see the tryouts.
Yeah.
I would like to see the poor bastards
combine this thing.
Yes, combine it. I want to see the guys that are on the hopefuls.
It's like tryouts for the dream team. How do you do that? How do they do that?
Justin Jefferson, you're lined up against
Steve
Robinson.
Steve Kessel my ass from Sioux Falls. Get out there and want you to cover Tyreek Hill on this one.
And he lines up, and he's obviously a white guy. And he's like, "How many years have you been playing flag football?" And Justin Jefferson's like, "None." He's like, "Oh,
I got this.
I got this in the bag. I've been playing for 3.5 years."
So they we're going to get permission for any player under NFL contract to participate in tryouts because they are claiming that they're not going to have a lot of time to prepare for this from when the season ends to when they make the selection. But supposedly they're going to make them try
They're
out.
going to put it together.
There will be a limit of 1 player per NFL team on each national team participating. And I am wondering, like, if you will see some guys, you see this in other sports, if you get excluded from the U.S. team, if you just go back a couple generations, like I could technically play for any Olympic sport for Sweden. My kids could do it for Korea.
Yeah.
So I wonder if you end up not making the U.S. team, either you're not good enough or, you just have another teammate.
Yeah.
Because if you're on the Kansas City Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes wants to be the quarterback, you're not getting on the team.
Right.
Would you go? Are we going to see, like, I don't know, is there going to be a receiver that's got some Irish roots that's going to play on Team Ireland?
What's going to happen is Jimmy G is the quarterback of the Italians,
Yes!
right?
Right?
That's where this is headed.
I want
Feels
Jimmy
great,
G.
baby.
Where's Tommy DeVito? Where's Tommy? If Tommy Cutlets
Oh.
isn't playing for Italy,
I want to see the camp battle between, or the tryout
That
battle
would be
between Jimmy G
amazing.
and Tommy Cutlets.
that would be amazing. What else? Teams designated international player to play for his home country. Says allowing, in addition, a team's designated international player to play for his home country, which I think that's kind of sounds like we were talking about. Like you get to pick your home country. Is that's kind of odd that's being debated.
I would think there would be a Team USA.
Yeah.
And like, okay, the Ravens, we select Lamar Jackson. And then you've got Rashad Bateman, who's like, hey, I'd like to also play. And I don't even know if he's still at the Ravens. Might be a bad example.
Yeah, so maybe, yeah.
But then he could say, okay, well, then I want to go play for somebody else.
They need to purchase a league-wide insurance policy to provide injury protection for any player who gets hurt doing this. Salary cap credit for any player who is injured, which, again, if you got a guy that's making $54 million and he blows out his knee, that's dead money against your cap. I'm guessing that's something that needs to be worked out.
Sure, but you still would lose your $54 million a year player.
But at least you would then have the ability for a short term to try to fill that gap. Because if
sign those available, really talented $54 million a year quarterbacks.
It's better than having $54 million and not having a way to even try to work around.
It's true. That's true.
An expectation that Olympic flag football teams will establish medical staffs and field services that will comply. That would make sense. The NFL is not going to let their players go out and play on crap. And then a schedule that does not unreasonably conflict with an NFL player's league and club commitments. So basically, the NFL is saying if you take care of those and we can negotiate that, welcome to the world of flag football. And everything I've heard from Tyreek Hill to Lamar Jackson, what Jamar Chase has said this, Jefferson, Micah Parsons, all of these guys have expressed saying, I want to be a part of this.
Two things. Are we going to get another country's breakout star who then gets a shot in the NFL?
It wouldn't shock me. Why wouldn't you? If you get some dude from Germany that's playing a slot receiver, right? That can't be covered.
Why couldn't he have been a tight end?
Well, the only people that are going to go play in this, there'll be no linemen. I can't imagine there'll be any real. I mean, you're getting receivers, DBs, and quarterbacks.
Yes.
Why else?
A middle linebacker.